Did she get her chocolate?
It's
Okay,
right
she
here.
got the chocolate. I was making sure that you're well fed. Welcome back to the Down Podcast. It's your host, Romel.
And your boy Derek.
All right.
I remember we first invented chocolate. I hated it.
always hated it.
I always hated it.
Sweet, sweet chocolate.
That was low-key on point. Should be a voice actor, my boy. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the newest episode. We appreciate y'all stopping by. We have our recurring guest coming back on. We have our lovely lady Haven.
Hi.
Hi. And we have our lovely lady Hunter. I just
I knew you
Our
were
lady
gonna
boy.
say that.
our lady boy. Hi. Hunter, but no, it's the homie Hunter. He's back. They're back again for another segment. You might have seen him in the last episode. Got really into it on this one. If you haven't seen that one, go ahead and check that out. We did a review on Black Adam and got into some more stuff. Conversation was crazy, but good time overall. If you haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert. So,
If you haven't seen the movie, go fuck yourself.
all right,
It's been out for a minute. You don't have an excuse.
yeah. By the time this come out, yeah. At that
It'll be a
point-
whole nother week.
Boy, at that point, you bullshit. But boy, Wakanda Forever out. We reviewing that one.
I guess.
You're so anti-black, and I love it.
Self-loathing, probably.
Well, shit. I said speaking of self-loathing, but no.
Seth Logan?
Seth Rogen, loathing things,
Self-loathing.
loathing. Couldn't say the word for a second.
Go ahead.
All right, but yeah, we got some sad news. We're gonna speak about for just a second. Pay homage to Takeoff from the Migos, but they had their little situation. But now it's just Quavo and Takeoff. But in general, he passed away recently. Got shot in a dumb situation. But R.I.P. to Takeoff. I'm very been listening to the Migos for a while, and he was always my favorite one. For sure. Very lyrical, very good, dude had bars. Dude had bars and was the most unproblematic Migo, in my opinion, on the situation.
They said he was the quietest one. So.
He was.
Take off.
It's always the quiet ones.
I'm gonna say something that's gonna be really. You're gonna probably be surprised.
What?
But it's because I just don't pay attention like that. I did know they were all related.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were all related in the way that they were related.
Yeah, it's a weird.
Yeah.
It's a
I
weird,
thought that like they were all either friends or they were all brothers or just cousins. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that they were related in the way
the
that
order
they are.
that it is.
Yeah.
yeah,
Weird.
yeah. Because I thought
Quavo
was Takeoff's uncle.
Yeah.
and then Offset's a cousin.
Yeah.
And originally it was just Takeoff and Quavo. They were the group at first, but then because Offset was in jail, but then they were still pushing his name out because I guess they knew he could spit, which he can't. And then they brought him in,
Yeah.
and then it became the Migos. So yeah, a little history lesson for you guys. You didn't know the family tree.
Now you do.
Now you do.
The more you know.
The more you know, the more you know. But it's a lot of other things going on in the news. The stuff we were just talking about it. The Kyrie,
dude?
Kyrie situation. Kyrie out here getting flagged just like Kanye West for having opinions. Nike just ended their settlement with him. They're not trying to fuck with him no more.
What did he do?
So basically, he it's this movie on Hulu. It's like from Hebrews to Negroes. That's what it's called. And it's basically showing how the same thing that Kanye was talking about, that black people were the original Jews. They weren't Jewish people. They were the original Jews that were the start or whatever. So there was a documentary that was released on that called Hebrews to Negroes, and then Kyrie had saw. You know how Kyrie be on his woke stuff every now and then.
No.
Well, you didn't know, but Kyrie is he's a flat earther.
He's stupid. Okay, I
Yeah, so
understand.
in that regards, he is stupid. But But in the part about what he was saying, he basically just
He just posted it.
He just
All
posted
he did
it.
was post it. But you have to understand the platform that you were on. Not
Yeah.
saying that you can't speak, but if you already know the platform that you're on and you know that anything that you say can and will get held against you,
Can will be used against
you
In a court of law.
you can't do it. You can't get mad. You can't do anything about it. But what I can say is that, is it dumb? Is it stupid? Yes, because he simply just posted something. But you also are a whole brand yourself.
Yeah.
So you have to play the game correctly.
Yeah. So
You'll get both sides.
is the thing that he was talking about? It's one of those Black Israelite things.
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
it-
like those niggas are stupid. But
No,
I understand.
It was something.
like,
Yeah, it was. I
it's-
don't know if it was necessarily Black Israelites.
If that's what the movie or show or whatever the fuck
Yeah,
it is,
yeah, yeah,
that's
got-
what
yeah,
it's about.
yeah.
Understand. So the reason that people are probably mad is because a lot of their stuff sounds racist because it's like anti-Semitic to Jewish people, and so that's probably why they kicked him off. Which is also why they had a problem with Kanye because he
Yeah.
said something anti-Semitic, which he really didn't. But people
Going DEFCON 3.
yeah, and people equated that to shit that happened to Jewish people.
Yeah.
So they just considered it to be anti-Semitic. So, and I mean, it is what it is. Now, if he just reposted it, then it doesn't really.
That's all he
fucking
did.
It doesn't
Yeah,
fucking
that's
matter.
all.
then.
That's all he did. Baby? Isn't that what they said on there?
What?
That all he did was just repost the picture.
Yeah, all he did was repost it, and it's like, it was just crazy because after he reposted it, like, I got a notification instantly when he posted it. So I was like, oh, okay, I liked it. I was like, okay, I see, like, supporting and, history and stuff like that. But where it took a huge left is that not only obviously with the Kanye situation, or Ye situation going on, now the actual Jewish community is like going back and forth. So they're trying to make Kyrie pay money for this whole situation.
He's trying to rob this nigga for posting something.
Well, that's what they're trying to do to Kanye also.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's and the other thing too, like with Kanye, he was talking about how like Jewish people like run everything because they make the most money and all that shit, and they run the majority of like all of the major businesses and things that we have today, and people got upset over that, even though it is true.
I wouldn't say it's totally true.
No, it is.
It's
They
accurate.
own the majority of a lot of the major
Like big
corporations and
businesses.
like a lot of the major corporations.
Adidas, Nike, like they over some shit.
Yeah, it's not like how some people are, where they say like Jewish people run the world, which is not necessarily true. But they own the majority of all of the major brands. All of those
Yes,
people are
they
Jewish
do.
people. So that's where that kind of comes in at.
It's not like they happen to be Jewish. It's like a lot of them are,
Yeah,
and it's not
But it's
saying
not
that
like-
it's a negative thing. Like,
right.
as in,
And
like,
some people consider when you say it, they think of it as like you're trying to shit on them and say like it's like a cult kind of thing, and like it's not. It's just an astute observation that the majority of y'all niggas are just Jewish.
That's what they said. Over in when during World War II times when they decided to go after the Jews during that time, that they were like, oh, Hitler made into a thing about they're taking over the money and stuff like that. But that was the only I had read somewhere that was like.
I feel like that was a smokescreen so that he could take care of doing the horrible things.
But not at the same time, like, well, obviously he had his own issues with them, which was his own issues. But at the same time, they were put in a position to deal with money because that's the only jobs they could get. That's the only jobs that they were allowed.
That's where
to
that stereotype comes from. That like they're really greedy and they're really good with money. That's where that stereotype like comes from. Is because they dealt with so much money.
Yeah, he posted something like that.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, that's it, basically."
I'll see here.
That's fucking stupid. But then again, it's right after the shit with Kanye.
Yeah.
So
it's
a
had-
lot
it
of
hadn't cooled down enough.
a lot of Jewish people are already mad about that, and they were protesting him and all this other weird shit.
Folks on 12, they said, "Nah, we not finna go through this again," and like, it's not about to happen again because for one, that's not gonna happen in America. Well, we said the same thing probably back in the day, but by the way the world's moving now, it's like we're not gonna go through something like that. People having comments like that aren't gonna put you in a position where you fear for your life. Kanye West doesn't have the power to do something like that.
But that's like a lot of people nowadays are so fucking sensitive with everything. They think that every single thing that you do is considered dangerous for whatever reason, even though they promote other dangerous things themselves. So it doesn't actually make sense.
No,
Well,
like
the thing
facts.
the thing is that a lot of people have become scared of opinions, if you know what I mean. Like they're afraid that they don't like the fact they don't like that it started off small with like the whole going from mentally retarded to special needs, and and then people started appropriating other things like that, and eventually like everyone decides, well, if I don't like that thing, it's bad for me, and you're a horrible person. People have become afraid to express themselves as a result, or share say that they disagree with whatever it is that you may
And
be
it's
doing.
so crazy because this world is
because-
like you're allowed to, they want you to express yourself, be yourself,
Well,
but
they
then
say
you
that.
get
Be yourself,
judgmental.
but-
they
but
say-
fit
they
the
only-
narrative.
Yeah,
You know what's
exactly.
funny,
They say
too?
that until they say you're free to do whatever. We want you to be yourself. And then the minute that you are, and they're fine up until whatever something that you do that they don't agree with.
Yeah, if
What-
if
no
we
matter
don't,
how-
if the
no
world
matter
doesn't
how
agree
small-
with what you agree with, then they're gonna have a
Then-
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing that's funny about that stuff too is like it's all the people that are on that side of things
Yeah.
are the worst amount of people, because they talk about like, oh well, these people over here are racist or they're fat phobic or transphobic or all that stuff. They're that themselves, because like when you say something about somebody doesn't look good if they're like fat or whatever, right? They're gonna body shame you. Even though they say you shouldn't body shame people, but they're going to body shame you.
People take it a
A lot
lot.
of contradicting
A
lot of people-
Like their whole
situations.
arguments are hypocritical because it's like
It's
they just need.
self-reflection. They don't like the way they look, so as a result, they immediately jump to the conclusion that if someone
And
says
project
you
upon you.
weigh certain,
It doesn't
people
even
I
have.
don't think that
it's
it's
not
even
even.
that.
It's not projecting. It's just their points are hypocritical because they don't have any original thoughts of their own. They go
Yeah.
based off of everything that they hear,
And
and
they're
then
told, yeah.
they're so fucking stupid themselves that they don't understand that they're doing the exact same thing that they try to go against.
I wouldn't say it's stupid.
I feel like it's a fear
say
tactic, too.
I would. Well, yeah, I'll get
Well,
to that.
it's
in
a
just
shaming
second, but I
tactic,
feel,
but yeah, I
I
mean,
feel like,
you know, whatever.
well, it's shame through fear. But I feel like I don't feel like it's quote unquote. It is stupid, but I feel like it's the more fitting word is ignorant. They're
No,
very
ignorance is not knowing something. They know damn well what they're doing.
I feel like it's ignorance on the bots. I feel like it's ignorance on like the typical consumer that when you like, it's like basically how you get your algorithm. I was talking about with you the other day, how like to switch your algorithm, like, oh, I'm getting this constant flood of information, and then now it becomes garbage in, garbage out.
Well-
That's all if I'm seeing is straight up negative content. All I'm seeing is red pill. I hate this or whatever. Men need to level up and do this shit, and women are beneath me. Or I'm getting constant women shit talking about men. Now I'm like, damn,
heinous triangle.
I'm really a horrible dude because that's all I see. And so I'm starting. So instead of turning my brain off and being like, let me just look in the real world, I'm getting constantly flooded with information. I'm getting constant influx to where I become a sheep.
Yeah, you're still stupid.
And I was I'm like, yeah, it makes you ignorant. But then I'm saying, I'm talking.
It's like it's willful ignorance is what it is. Ignorance is not knowing something. You can't say you just don't know. That's what ignorance is. But willful ignorance is you not wanting to know something.
Yeah, that's stupid.
And that's what the majority of
You
them do.
refuse to face
They don't.
what is in front of you.
That's why you have so many people like that hate Andrew Tate, right?
Yeah.
They're willfully ignorant. They just go based off of the clips. They don't need any context or any of that sort of thing because they just go based off that and what people say about them. Even though the majority of everything they say is wrong.
Yeah.
But they're not going to take the time to learn any of that stuff on their own.
Or watch the full thing and get the whole grasp of it. They just take, a lot of people like to take little snippets of what Ben Shapiro might say or Andrew Tate might say or whatever.
Yeah.
They like to take those tidbits out of context and then say, these people are horrible and the people who agree with these people are horrible, even though you've never met them. And, I believe in the individual more than the group mentality, if you know what that means. If you know what I'm saying, rather.
I feel like that's a scary
Like-
thing too. The individualistic mindset of the Western culture. We want to be individuals so much that we become a consensus.
Well, what I was saying.
That's like because everybody wants to be different. Everybody and their mama want to be different, but in reality, we are all very same.
And that's a good point. But what I was saying is that when I believe in the individual rather than the group mentality, or what I mean is that like I'll take the time to get to know this person despite what other people are saying, and then I can make up the conclusion of what kind of person I think they should be.
Yeah, but see,
by
nobody thinks
myself.
like that anymore.
But nobody thinks like that anymore because it's looked down upon. because a lot of people say because a lot of people cast you out if you agree with this one person that they don't like, who they don't like for whatever reason. Like if they're a bad person, yeah, I can understand it. Or if they're like they asked out this one girl and they rejected him, so the whole group rejected him. Or they don't play football, or and the rest of us play football, so we don't talk to them because we don't have enough in common or whatever.
That's because people don't want to be individuals anymore. They want people to tell them what to do and what to think
People are
without
sheep.
having to do that for themselves.
Right, people want to, not to take a line from Loki, but I'm going to do it anyway. Like people want to have their life. They don't say it or realize it, but they want to have their little world controlled by something else.
Yeah, but that's how most of us were built. If you want to really get into it, that's how a lot of us are. All of us sitting at this table were trained just like that. The only reason we broke out of that is because of the people who are around us who weren't thinking like that. When you think about school, you're in school from elementary school or maybe pre-K all the way to 12th grade, and you're doing the same exact shit, seeing the
It's
same
conditioning
exact
camp.
people. You're conditioned, and they don't change anything for you to think outside the box unless you're a part of a college preparatory school or you're part of a fine arts program that helps you get out of that. But if you just went to school and went home, that's all you did. You've been told what to do, told how to do it, told when to eat, when to shit, when to sleep, when to do all these things, and then the minute you go out to college is the minute you get culture shock and don't know what to do with the fuck you with yourself.
I think-
I hate.
Because
I mean,
doing all those things.
I never really experienced that because I've always done what the fuck I wanted to do.
But the thing is,
But-
I said depending on your upbringing. If you
It had nothing to do with my upbringing. Like, I disagree with the people around me the majority of the time. It's just been me. I do whatever the fuck I want to do. But a lot of that stuff is conditioning only for work. It's not conditioning for lifestyle.
Life.
Yeah.
It's just conditioning. They conditioned you in order to go to work. That's what school is for. Now that they're doing everything, they're trying to condition you to go to work and also condition your daily life. That's why they're trying to bring so many different things into schools now that don't need to be in there. Because they're trying to convert your children into thinking a certain way early so that
they don't
they'll
have
be
the
like that
opinion
later.
to think different, and that they have the whole.
That's why I feel
mob
like that's
mentality
why I
later.
think we're going into the war now, because we have part of our generation was going into bringing in some of those. Let's accept these things. But in the beginning, we didn't give a damn about that shit for like a good till like ninth grade.
Until we started forming our own opinions
Yeah,
and our
so,
actual
yeah.
character.
Until they started, and then we started seeing it out there, and they started bringing it in later. But by the time they started bringing it into the school system, we weren't there. We weren't there when they started bringing it into like our younger siblings and cousins and nephews or whatever and nieces during that time. What they're learning now, they care about a lot more shit than we ever cared about.
But a lot of the
Well,
shit that they
overthink
care about
it a
now
lot
is
more.
weird.
It is.
Right,
Because they
overthink
have
it.
books.
It's trivial.
Well, they have books like promoting kids fucking adults
All right.
in school.
Whereas like books that are potentially how you read these books that were you heard or learned about these books that were banned at certain times, like Animal Farm and Fahrenheit 451. And so
Those are
on.
banned?
They're banned now.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Which is
they're banned now
ironic
because of their messaging in it.
Because the messaging encourages people who read it to not trust or try to think out the box, and that's why in their
A lot of stuff is
dystopian
getting taken
worlds-
out of schools now.
Yeah,
What-
a
do you know
lot of
anything
these,
else?
a lot of the things that
I'm about to say, do you know anything else
what?
like that's been taken out of schools? Because
Well,
it's
for
new
one-
information.
Well,
It's a
one
it's a
thing-
few, huh?
For one, history books are being taken out.
Yeah, a lot of different things are getting taken out that provide individualism because they want kids to not be able to think for themselves.
Right.
So that's why they're doing more things now. Like there's certain schools where there's like a documentary of a dude. He was just like, I only hire liberal people, and I only allow them to teach at my school. I have to vet them, and once I vet them, if they're a liberal person, then cool, because I want to mold the kids to thinking what I agree with.
Did y'all hear about the guy who went into school with the price like with the fake boobs?
Yeah.
And he was like
He's trans.
Yeah, the trans guy who had the baby. Did you hear about that?
He had them
Yeah.
giganto
Oh,
titties,
yeah. So yeah, it was a dude came in here with like gigantic titties.
like oversized as fuck.
Yeah, oversized.
Like they were probably like right here, and like
He's a
They
teacher.
have super like really hard nipples and shit, and he wore like really tight clothes and stuff, and he's trans. But he's only trans because he's wearing this shit, and he called himself a woman. And a lot of the students don't like that shit. They're like, it's inappropriate. We don't really fuck with it like that. But he's, he can be whoever he wants to be. But it's still weird.
And it's
he-
they're having issues with the school accepting that.
Yeah.
It's like the school is trying to push
there's-
for accepting it.
Well, see, the problem with things like that is that, the government has to try and find a nice balance between what is socially acceptable and legally acceptable. So some people would say that somebody who has done time, who went back to school after doing that time for whatever it may be,
Pull your mic up.
for whatever it might be, like let's say they went back to school, they got their shit straight, and but they still have a hard time teaching despite being very good at it because, well, what they did was not legally acceptable, but and it's very morally ambiguous as far as do you want somebody who's done time teaching your kids really well, or do you want someone who hasn't but can't do it as well, And a lot of people like to settle for the other because it's safer. They don't want to take the chance. They don't want, because like what y'all were talking about as far as conformity and how schools are conditioning people these days, kids these days, like I think it's more designed nowadays, and I think it's steadily getting to that point of suppressing individualism. It's like like anybody who's like really creative and such, they're being told, as opposed to when we were kids, when you're just like, just let them run around, they'll burn themselves out. Now it's that if you're running around or you're drawing a whole bunch and you're doing all this crazy stuff, give them pills. It'll calm them down. And now everybody's on ADHD pills.
They've been on the ADHD pills.
No. I'm saying that there's a huge surge of it because
It's gotten worse.
It's gotten a lot worse because you don't need to medicate a 5-year-old for the majority of the time. They're a 5-year-old.
No. Fuck them up. It's fine.
So, my thing is this, right? Like, it's been going on for a long ass time
as well.
because we've had they sent kids as young as 4 years old to Lakeside, and that has to do with like parents not dealing with their fucking kids correctly because they just don't fucking want to take the time to do so. But a lot of this stuff is like, it's just people don't want to take responsibility for their actions, and they just want somebody else to tell them what to do, and so they just kind of do that sort of thing.
They're just grown up children.
Well, yeah, but also the other thing too is like the only way to fully change like a system of things is you change the children versus trying to change the adults. Because the
They're
adults
stuck in their ways already.
Yeah.
Well, once you change the children and you can make them to conform whatever you want them to think. Once the adults die, those people that you've conformed will then be here.
And so that's molding clay.
And that's why they do all this shit in schools. And there's numerous like parents that are upset about certain things like that and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
That they don't want their kids learning about or having books and stuff like that because some of it's promoting pedophilia and
The crazy
all
part
this
is
weird shit.
it's the older generation. It's like 2-3 generations above us that's actually the ones that are enforcing these rules and like approving things through the school board and having a superintendent that is a whole 2-3 generations above the people who should be making certain decisions. I get listen to your elders. I get put them at the forefront. They've been through life. They understand little
But that
things.
doesn't mean they're always right.
Exactly. It does not mean that they're always right, especially from a social standpoint. Like a lot of them, they do
Times have changed.
like our parents, like they do have good points when it comes to social. We care about too damn much nowadays. It's a lot more things happening in the world we should be caring about versus the shit we care about now.
Yeah, look at technology, for example, versus as an analogy for social, change. In the year 2000, YouTube and Google just came out. 5 years, 6 years later, you have iPhone. We're skipping way ahead, and you got friggin' virtual reality now. That's only in a span of 22, 23 years, give or take. And while it's harder, social constructs just like that in a similar way, whether it be right for gay marriage or the belief that people, the belief of people being offended, and then there's the rise in
and a lot of times people just need to stop caring.
Right? People care too much. That's the problem.
No, I'm talking about, yeah, they care too much. I said it's my personal opinion. I think niggas just need to stop caring. Like, honestly, just need to just stop caring.
I think people should stop caring. I think people should be more like me. Honestly.
If more people were like you, the world would be very boring.
Exactly. But then you don't have to worry about shit. Like, you don't have to worry about shit. Because, like, my thing is this, right? I don't give a fuck about what anybody says about me. I've had people that try to call me homophobic or transphobic or all that shit. And I just say, okay. I don't have to try to prove you wrong or any of that sort of thing because I don't give a fuck about what you think. Because if I know I'm not something, I don't have to try to prove to you that I am.
I
The
feel
more you
like
try to prove it,
it's
the
harder, the
more
more it's believable that you are.
right.
In fact.
And it's also a lot of the stuff is diluted now. Like they just kind of use that stuff as an insult or as just something to say to try to like get out of
Shake
like
you, get a rise out of you.
yeah, to make you angry or get out of the conversation.
You
or
start
something
losing
like
the powers in the words when you start using it as you get when you get offended way too much by it, you lose power in it.
Well, that too. And I've always thought that the only words that have any sort of power are the words that you allow to have power over you.
Damn, that's a quote right there.
No words really have any sort of power over you unless you allow them to. That's why I don't give a fuck about what people say. Because you're not going to make me upset by just saying words. Now, if you touch me, whole different story. But if you just say shit to me, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Because it's just words at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You just make yourself look stupid. That's it.
Yeah, when it comes to words like that, like when you were talking about how words, you choose to not let them bother you, or because you've done that for so long and they don't bother you. I feel like when when harsh words are spoken to you, it doesn't matter what it does within. It's the actions that measure the man. It's what you decide to not. It's what you decide to not do, or do, depending on the situation.
Also, I grew up playing Xbox and Call of Duty. There's absolutely nothing you can say
Nothing
to me
you can say to me has already been said.
He's like, I've been desensitized since I was 10. We're good.
So none of that shit.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing to me.
I feel like you have to have a level of desensitization, but at the same time you have to have a level of okay, I understand. I get that. Because I wouldn't necessarily, I guess for me, from my end,
Appreciation.
yeah, like a little bit. You gotta understand. Like I get where you're coming from. I understand that you may be offended by this or whatever I did or whatever. But the minute I tell you I understand and I'm getting where you're coming from, we should dead it right there.
I always understand where somebody's coming from. I just don't care. That's it.
Yes, and then,
Like I understand people's points of views. I understand why you think the way that you think. I get it.
they just need to start telling people they're not special.
But guess what? Right.
That's what they need to tell
You're
people.
not important.
But
You're not
my
special.
thing is this: ask me if I care, because I guarantee you I don't.
Do you care?
Absolutely not.
All right. Do you
Yeah.
care? Do you care?
No,
All right. Do you care?
They probably do.
They do.
probably.
There'll be one.
Well, see, it depends a lot. Everybody's got their own little dynamics and their own little worlds, all their trials and tribulations and things that are going well and going and not. Of course, it's the experiences that measure up to what create the kind of person who is, either strongly opinionated or rolls over on their belly every single time the argument reaches its head. Because what you were saying, I understand where you're coming from. That doesn't, like, for a lot of people these days, I've found that that doesn't dissolve it at all whatsoever. It's like, it's when I've noticed that because they're like, you can't possibly understand it. So, like, no, I've noticed.
I definitely agree with that, what you just said.
That's because people don't believe in agree to disagree.
No,
And
they
anymore.
don't.
they
Not
think
anymore.
that if you understand,
Why she look at me? She's like, no, you don't agree.
no,
with
they
this.
don't.
No.
You can't possibly understand.
But no, it's also one of those things where, like, if you understand, then that means that you clearly should be on my side because what I'm saying is correct and what you're saying is wrong, which isn't the case.
There seems like a rise of victim mentality.
It should literally just be okay. Well, if we agree to disagree, then we agree that what each of us said is our own opinion, and we should respect it and leave it alone.
I have a friend.
Even
But it doesn't happen.
if your opinion is dumb, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, people have dumb. They're gonna fight in the car.
She having flashbacks. She's like, so you've been thinking that my opinions are dumb? Well, all right.
I know that you do already, so it's okay.
It's
It's fine.
it's okay. Just eat the chocolate.
I
Chocolate.
had a friend in college, rather, when I was going to Southwest. he and I had we were both in our sociology and psychology class because one came right after the other with the same teacher. So we both had this discussion about relatively to this about how facts versus opinion, because that was a part of the topic towards the end of the class. But anyway, like we've noticed that opinions make people angry, facts make people silent.
Facts make people angry now.
Facts
are starting to make people angry.
Right. So they try to bend some people will be told this is a fact. Like if you I'm not like, for example, like people are saying that if you don't call someone special needs, that's
Hold on. Look,
I got something.
Continue with what you're saying, and then I'm gonna say what I was about to say.
Okay. Because some people like to appropriate to calling people special needs, whereas some other people will not compromise and look to say the scientific term mentally retarded, and that someone's opinion is that that's an offensive way to say it, and the person who says that is like, I'm stating a fact. That is the medical definition for mental deficiency, and people try to overwrite people's facts with the mass opinion. Mm. And at the end of the day, so long as you are uncompromising, that does not change.
People are too much like that bitch from Fresh and Fit, where she said it might be a fact, but that doesn't make it a fact.
They don't like what you said, so they're gonna say that's your opinion.
It's an opinion.
Or
I feel like
it's a fact.
But do you know that facts are not facts?
Oh my God! Yo, end the show, Chris. Chris, end the show. Yeah.
Just because
What?
we gonna find. Look, we gonna find the clip.
I've seen that.
But she said just because it's a fact doesn't make it a fact. Excuse me.
What?
No,
I was so fucking confused.
No.
She said
She
that.
said
did
that.
say
Just
that.
because it's a fact
doesn't mean it's a fact. I think what she meant was I don't believe it. Like just because
it's a fact.
doesn't mean it's true. It's basically just because
You think it too.
just because you're
It's gonna hurt.
too
It's gonna
hard.
hurt.
No,
It's gonna hurt
look,
you.
I will tell you, it's gonna hurt your brain.
gonna hurt your
I
brain.
need to smoke.
She is.
break so I can be on her level.
I need weed.
She was sober.
Understand?
She was sober.
Dude, she was perfectly sober.
She's just stupid.
She wasn't sober. She did a line of coke right before.
No,
that.
I think with that, I mean, I don't know you, or I'm sorry, but I just think with that, you just wanted to say something to say something. 'Cause
No,
I don't
they
know
were
the
getting on.
context.
She was arguing.
They were
No,
getting
they
on.
were on real
They were
arguments.
getting on her
Okay,
ass
well, then
because what she
I need
was
to
saying
see
was
it.
opinions, and they were stating facts.
They were
and
trying
she
to
said,
back
"Well,
her
just
up.
because it's a fact doesn't make it a fact." Because she
And they
didn't. She
cussed.
couldn't say anything.
I'm gonna see if I can find it. What
Is
y'all talking
she
about?
is
Still
she
see
mean okay? Is she meaning that? So
look.
you know how like everything that we read
No, I'm just
and
slide
stuff
over.
like that and books and stuff are it's supposed to be a fact, right?
some
so is she
people, yeah.
meaning
No, what she meant is
that
that
the
just
oh wait, hold on, I'm just trying to because
I know
I'm
what
not trying to
you're-
think too hard, but
What you're saying is like, if it's a statistic, that doesn't always mean that it's correct.
right, like that's somebody
Like-
else's opinion that they made into a fact. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, I get
Is
what
she
you
was she saying it like that?
Mm,
Like maybe she was
She
and
might-
nobody got it.
I think she like it was. Oh, I think what was happening was that
She might have meant it that way,
no.
but-
She probably was like just because I guess she wanted to not be wrong. Have you ever been uncompromising to the point where you're wrong, but you refuse to accept it? So you want it basically to mean like we're both right, but I'm not wrong.
No.
Like
it's essentially like
Not
she wanted 2 + 2 to be 5 so fucking bad.
Gotcha.
And they were like, it's 4.
Well,
and,
to
it's a
make
fact
me feel
that it's
better,
4.
I'm gonna think she thought what I just said. That's gonna help me sleep at night. Because if I were to
She gonna
think,
wake up in the middle of the night. What does she mean?
if I were to think the way she supposedly was
she doesn't
thinking,
think that's the problem.
that is horrible.
Yeah, she's from Miami. They're not that bright.
The minute you said it was Miami. I'm gonna show it. I was trying to find it. I can't find it right now.
You might have to find the whole little part.
Yeah, it'll be the whole thing.
Yeah,
I
but,
know.
we'll drop it in here so you
we'll
can see
drop
what
it.
I'm talking about because she was fucking stupid.
But no, she
we
real
about to-
deal said that. But no, the thing when you were talking about the facts not being facts, and then you talking about people being like delusional and stuff, like not really accepting what
not
is,
accepting what is.
not accepting what is. So I'm gonna ask you a question. You being a residential woman on this podcast, You can not answer this if you don't want to answer this. I don't want to put any pressure on you. But
I do. I need the content.
I'm gonna ask this question to you.
Just mind that we go home together.
We will. But the thing is, I have full confidence in you that we think very similarly on this.
Okay.
What is a woman?
Oh, I've seen this.
Why would you ask me that?
No,
I know
no,
why
hold on.
you're asking that question. I know, like
No, I know. I
Because
know.
see, this is the other thing too,
know.
right? This is the other part to it. Is this is an answer for everybody? Do you think that trans women are real women? It's
That's
just
why-
like-
that's why
it
I
is
said-
a-
that's
and
why I
I
said
don't-
you
hold
can
on.
choose
And I don't
not to answer.
I don't need you to explain. It is a simple yes or no.
No.
Okay.
no.
Nah.
Okay. So if anybody says yes, then you ask them, "What is a woman?"
What is a woman?
Andrew Tate.
Okay,
Let's be honest.
let's just get into this.
I don't think it is.
She said, "Listen."
I don't think it was.
Now I'm
but
saying we do not have to talk about this.
I kind of want to.
All right.
Let's just get into this. Okay, look, I didn't probably mess up my eyeliner and everything for this. Okay,
She
We,
said,
so
we
sweating.
appreciate that.
As soon as the question was asked, she started sweating.
Sweating instantly.
no offense.
She said, "Who's watching this?"
But, and this is just my opinion. If you don't like it, I don't give two shits. But I'm sorry. I understand that in your mind or your heart or whatever, you feel that you are a woman. Whatever. Here's my thing. I don't care if you believe in God or not. You can believe in any being or whatever. You were literally made what you were made. If that person or being or mystical creature or whatever that made us decided, you know what? I'm going to put you in this, but eventually I do want you to change it to this. No, that's not how it fucking works. And that shit's fucking annoying because
She is going into. I did not
you
expect this.
cannot sit here and change your whole thing. See, my eyes twitching. You cannot sit here and change your whole thing and expect life to be fucking amazing for you. When we, as women, biological women, and I saw a video of this doctor, of this dude that literally, and he's famous. I'm gonna pull it up soon. But he even said, he got asked the same question.
Long face, old, great hair.
I think so. I'm
Yeah,
not really sure. But he got asked a question, basically that. And he literally said, no offense, but when we die and we look you up and we have to like dig up your body or whatever, you are biologically what you were born.
Yeah,
It was. He pretty much just said like,
I've seen
when you
that.
die and like in 100 years from now, when they dig your body up,
You're
they
going to be
have
identified
abso-
as what it is.
Yeah, they have absolutely no idea what was going on in your brain, what you thought of. They go
They don't
straight
care.
off of your bones. It is ingrained in your in
DNA.
all your DNA and your bone marrow, all that shit. That you are the gender that you were born in.
On each side, men say they have it harder than women. Women say they have it harder than men. For
When
the
you go to
people
other
that are
side
saying that,
switch over, how do you feel?
like, how do you feel?
Well, here's
Well,
the thing.
so there's also-
you open up Pandora's box of a whole bunch of other stuff because now you're trans, you know. But just to keep my opinion on that brief, I don't question it. I don't agree with it. But that doesn't stop me from loving the person. Because
yeah, I mean, of course, like, I respect you
because,
and everything
because
like
as I
that.
said, no,
But
because
when
as
you
I said
cross the
before,
line,
but
There's
because,
like,
well,
no, the
well,
love's not
because but because what I was saying earlier about how I search for the individual, like if you are a good person to me and the others that I care about,
Mic closer.
yeah. If you are an important person to me, if you are a kind person to me and those that I care about, and you treat them well, and you're living your best life, hell, go for it.
Yeah.
Who the fuck am I to
yeah,
tell
see,
you?
but we're not talking
to do
about
your
people's
life?
feelings right
Yeah,
now.
we ain't talking
Right.
about.
No, I don't care
No,
about that.
no.
Now-
But what I'm saying
now
is
this is
that,
what I'm
that
saying.
is.
You
but
do
no-
not. You ain't got.
You good.
This you on our podcast. It's fine.
You good. Everybody gonna hate me. It's fine. It don't matter. No matter what the fuck you think you are, you're not that. I've dealt with
agree.
I've dealt
I
with
don't
too
agree
many
with it, but
fucking I worked at a mental facility. I've dealt with too many fucking trans people. It's a fucking mental disorder. You're fucking like it's
Talk to him.
because it's no different than the same people that want to fuck up their body because they feel as though they should be disabled. like if you feel like you shouldn't have been born with this body part, they just cut that bitch off. It's no different than that shit.
There are people
All
that
it
do
is
that.
that you have a mental disorder. That's why it was a mental disorder before it was popular.
Like, this is clout.
Right. Like, and this is the thing,
Hold
right?
up,
And this is the thing.
They dropping gems. Then
But this is
ready
the
for
thing,
it.
right?
We're getting
Come on,
canceled.
Derek.
All
We're
of
getting
these-
Derek.
canceled.
I'm here
Cancel
for
me.
it.
Please do.
So the other thing
Cancel
too
him, I'll
is
be
like
back
all
on
of these
with
people,
100,000 followers.
all these people, right? They do this shit to be individuals, right?
Yeah,
They're no longer an individual because they do it because it's popular.
you're part of
Also,
consensus.
You're taking away from somebody else that actually should be in that position.
and also, like, if you want to say anything is appropriation, you saying that you're a real woman, that's appropriating a woman.
Oh my God.
Because you're not.
Please come through. Me
Because
being
you're
a
not.
woman, oh my,
Oh my
mother
God, bro.
man.
But that,
Drop
put
it.
that
The
shit
other
on, drop it on TikTok, bro. Oh my
The other thing
God.
is
Matter
this
of fact,
too.
it goes through both sides because
It
they
goes
be the-
through
they be
both
the-
sides,
it goes,
too.
it goes both ways.
No, they be the same motherfuckers that'll sit there and be like, they'll be like, oh, I'm a trans man, but the minute that you do that, you like pick this, you'll pick this heavy ass box up.
I was just about
nigga.
to say that shit. I was just about because it's the other thing too. She might dress up like she's a dude, right? And
But
then
the
she
minute you
hits
get-
you. If she hits you, and then you hit her back, they're like, "Oh, you hit a woman." No, the fuck I didn't. You are now a man to me. If you want to
For-
be a
for-
man,
for
I'm gonna
those that
treat you
claim
like
it,
a man.
yeah.
I'm gonna beat your ass. But
I believe in true gender equality.
but it's only right.
hands.
It's only beneficial to them when it's beneficial. Like
Yes.
they don't want to take
Oh my
all
God.
of it. It's
Yeah.
not
No.
equality. It's just I want to do this.
I
don't
want
want all
the
the
clout.
No.
I don't want all the other shit that comes with it. I just like this part right
And,
here.
and this is specifically talking about
It's double standard.
This is specifically talking
Right.
about the fuckers.
yeah, I'm not talking about the people that are cool.
Like if you switched over, did your thing, and you still know biologically, you like, yo, I can never be a biological man. I can never be a biological woman. And you like, I just did this because this is the shit I wanted to do. We do not care.
that's perfectly fine.
It's like we do not.
But the
care.
other thing too is like the person that I forgot what her name is. R.I.P. to her though. She dressed up as a man. She was a guy for a
Oh, you talking about the
while.
one that did the experiment?
Yes.
Hold on.
And she was supposed to do it for 2 years.
Yeah.
But she couldn't because the life of a man
Oh
was
yeah,
very
no,
tough.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
And she
the
said
life
that
of
it
a
would
man
treat
was
her
like
worse.
super
Have you
fucking
heard about
tough.
that?
If you don't tell me a person or if they've
I-
been in something,
We can't
So-
think. We can't.
so let
it's
me-
not, it's
let
not
me-
a famous person. It
Let
was
me.
it was just
No,
an
she was kind
experiment.
of
She was
famous
kind of
actually.
famous?
She was famous after the fact.
So basically, what she did is she wanted to see whose life was harder.
The life of a man or a life of a woman.
Hold on. So she
He's excited, man.
dressed up like a man, went out trying to get with women and all this other thing because she's like, all this shit is really easy for me. You know, I can get a drink whenever I want to. I'm pretty sure that
She was
I
a
have
stud, wasn't she?
no,
Oh, she wasn't.
not really. She
She was lesbian.
Yeah. And she was like, you know, I'm pretty sure I have game. I can get a girl if I want to, as a guy or whatever. She couldn't. Her life was absolutely terrible. She was supposed to do this for like 2 years, but she couldn't. She was having breakdowns and all this stuff. And then a few months ago, she committed suicide because of all of the. And this happened a while ago. Like she did this a while ago, but it had been
Building
it
up.
traumatized her that much because she was accepting everything that men go through and not just the good parts. She took all of that shit.
exactly. When it gets to that point, like, I'm sorry, I'm just speaking on the woman's side. When it gets to the point where a man, my blood is boiling. When I
good
see
clips.
motherfuckers that are
Yeah.
like, oh no, there was a fucking clip, and you've probably seen it. There was a fucking clip that it was like a council meeting or something, and
Oh yeah, when he was talking about birthing persons,
Yeah.
the bitch with the crazy eyes.
Listen
the black, they talking about
here.
the black professor chick that
Yeah,
went
with
up
the
there
crazy
and was
eyes.
like, she was a whole professor going up there spouting nonsense.
What you just said was homophobic.
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancy?
like, that is like,
Transphobic,
dude,
yeah.
our body is meant for that. Our body is meant for that. Yours is not.
And this is
I
a
don't care
woman
how
trying
many
to
I
argue
don't
that.
care, and you are fucking stupid. I don't care what PhD you have. I don't care what's in the front of your goddamn name. You are dumb as fuck. For you, what if your child literally was like, was like having that situation, what the fuck would you do? What would you fucking tell them?
Well, they would let them transition because that's the thing.
And then
that
what?
they're trying
Now
to
you
do.
have to, not only did you have to deal with the beginning, but like the before the transition. Now your stupid ass has to deal with the shit afterwards. And now with you not even going through the shit, you don't even know what the fuck you do.
Well, there's the emotional and psychological abuse that
You're
people.
fucking people up. You're fucking your
people
child
are
up.
too scared to say no. People are too scared to tell their
True.
kids no nowadays.
The other thing too is like they want to. So this is a fact that nobody likes to fucking talk about.
Right.
And I didn't get this fact from just normal people. I got this from actual trans people, right? That study this shit. So when they talk about like the trans community, their suicide rate is really high. And the people that aren't really like the people that don't actually transition, they don't fucking know this. They think it's because they get bullied. They think it's because of transphobic people, right? It's not. And this happens especially when you transition at a younger age. You don't start forming the majority of your depression and realization that you fucked up your body to the point that you can no longer change it. Their suicide rate happens about like, I think it's about 4 to 6 years after they've already transitioned because there's nothing they can do about it anymore. You hate the fact that you fucked up your own body so fucking much, and it can't change. And it happens more to younger people because if you do it at a younger age, it's nothing you can do. And they have their suicide rates much after, like far after they've already transitioned to that point.
The truth is that medical transition is experimental. We have studies that said that medical transition helps mental health with kids. They've all been retracted, modified, changed. But the only long-term study tells us 7 to 10 years is when transgender people are the most suicidal.
Which it sucks to say, but that makes sense.
And that's all their parents' fault. And it's not even just their parents sometimes because there was a few teachers that were giving students like hormone treatments without their parents' knowledge,
consent, which is illegal.
They were just because because there are a lot of teachers.
That's like giving drugs.
Well,
that is giving drugs.
Yeah,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because there's a lot of teachers now that ask people's pronouns now. Like when you first go into class, there's like, hey, what's your pronoun or whatever. And then if you feel like you're a certain type of way, there were a few teachers that were like, oh, well, I'll give you the fucking hormone pill and help you transition in your way. You don't have to tell your parents.
And that shit's annoying. Like
That
I
shit could be-
respect
that could
Straight
That
slipping
could be
drugs,
LSD.
bro.
I would fucking.
Hey man, take this
I know
ecstasy.
I
Your
do.
parents don't have to know.
If you're giving my kid something like that, you're not seeing the next day.
Oh, I'm going to jail.
Yeah, no. So here's something that I about shit. What were you saying about? Oh yeah, you were talking about how like but you know how like people, how they mess up their children's bodies and crap.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I saw something. I think it was Ben Shapiro, but I could be wrong. But anyway, he was saying how people like parents would decide that their kids might be trans when they're like 4 or 5 because their 4 or 5-year-old is like playing with they want to play with a Barbie doll. Now most people these days unfortunately are like, if you take the Barbie doll away and you give them a cowboy, you're like, no, this is a girl toy, this is a boy toy, here you can play with that.
That's what happened with that one kid.
And here's the thing. So like a lot of people as would say that you can't do that. You shouldn't suppress them like that. That's what they want to do. That's who they are. And they're like, no, they're a toddler.
People will step to you just for buying girl clothes for your girl child. Like you're like,
how do you know?
It was literally
free.
the TikTok I had sent you with the dude. That was a dude in Walmart who went with his daughter, and he was in his clothing section. These group of young people, probably around our age. You know how our age group is. So
they know fucking everything.
So yeah, they went over there and they were like, "Oh, your child is so cute." And then he said, "Oh, I appreciate it." He was getting some clothes, whatever. He was like, "You're getting girl clothes for your girl." He was like, "For your
No,
kid?"
it's because they called her an it.
Oh, okay. He was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, she." And then
they were like, "Oh, it's so cute," and all the other stuff was like, "Yeah, she
is."
And then they had a problem with that. It's like,
they had a problem with him pronouncing
Has
his
she
child.
said what gender she wants to be at?
I'm sorry. If
3.
somebody was to do that to me,
I would smack
Romeo,
the
I'm letting
shit
you
out of
know
him.
now. I'm
No.
punching them in the throat and I will go to jail.
No, they real deal pressed him. They like
The
they,
police got called and
Yeah,
everything.
the police got called because they had an issue with it,
Mm-hmm.
and then he was trying to just diffuse it, like
Because he wanted to
No,
protect his
this
kid.
actually goes into what we were talking about before. Because when he walked away, one of them is trans, and she tripped him.
Yeah.
And he didn't fall. And I think, did he push her away?
No, he tripped and then stumbled, and then they just walked off.
While he has his daughter with him?
Yeah.
But
And,
but they
and then-
called and said that he was beating a woman. Now she identifies as a guy, but
yeah,
she
she
called
looked
and
like a
said,
dude.
Yeah,
and he punched her in her shit.
Yeah, and she called and said he's beating up a woman. But you want to
double
yell at
standard.
You wanna be a
him,
dude.
yeah. But you want to yell at him because he said
You
weren't.
only use it when
When it's
you
convenient.
need it.
And you tripped him, and you got exactly what you
You
wanted.
got exactly what you asked
Fuck
for.
around like the little chart. You gonna have many
Fuck
times you
around,
gonna fuck
find
around. You
out.
gonna fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
And then he fucked around, found out, and then the crazy part is the police pulled up and they didn't even know how to fully address the situation. They're trying to press charges on him.
He would have went to jail if it wasn't on camera.
Yeah, if it wasn't on camera, he would have been chained up, and it would have been crazy.
Well, you said they were in a store, correct?
Yeah, they were at Walmart, and the police pulled up, and then
Were there not witnesses?
other than the
I'm
friends.
sure there were. Yeah, I'm
pretty
sure
sure
there were some.
There
but-
was.
He was
there
trying to
wasn't-
leave, and they told, and the security was
Yeah,
Was
there
the
wasn't any-
you said it was on camera, so was it on a phone?
No, it was
The
on
security
surveillance?
camera.
Okay,
it
I
was
was
on
about
the
to say,
surveillance camera. He was by himself, but it was a group of them. And
where'd the kid go?
Kid was
no,
just,
he
Kid
was
was
probably
with
in the
no, he
basket.
had his kid
Yeah,
with
yeah.
him.
okay,
But I was
okay.
saying as far as like other witnesses.
Yeah, okay.
So like it was a group of them. He was by himself with his kid. They did that, and then they were like, "You hit a woman" and all this other shit. And then he was like, "Fuck you, I'm just gonna leave."
Yeah.
And then they
So-
called the police, and one of them ran to get security. Security stopped him, and he was like, "All right, cool, call the police, it's fine." And then the police came, talked to him. That whole thing was confusing. He was about to go to jail.
So my question is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just did all this, right? About the child. So did nobody who had common sense think about the child during that moment? Like the child seeing this? Nobody thought about that?
No,
Nobody cared.
Okay.
Nobody cares.
So you
they thought they were defending the
impressed.
child's pronouns. They thought
You're
they were defending.
impressed
Yeah, they were defending
for
the
the
child. in their
child,
mind.
but you're also
Well, see,
fucking with the child in front of.
See, like the whole
Okay.
the whole double standard thing, well, like trans or not, the whole double standard thing, as far as men and women, is like, of course, like how like some women will like beat on their guy, and he won't touch them, or he'll just restrict their hands so that they can't do nothing, and then and then they become like hyper feminists who want the same hours, all that stuff. And then they go on and complain about how they don't get paid as much money. I'm like, do you work as many hours? What jobs do you work? Do you work as a trash man, woman?
You
No.
play the
Do you work
you
on the
play
side of
the-
the
you
road?
play-
No.
You play the victim mentality when
Play the victim
when you want it.
mentality. Thank you.
That's where you're trying to get it. I was
Well,
like,
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
where, you, I was like, what was it? Where you at?
Basically, it's just saying that women have more leeway to play victim than dudes.
Yeah,
Typically
because
of how
most
it is.
because most dudes are simps, and most dudes will agree with whatever she says, and most women will also agree because it's
a dude will whoop your ass before he even asks questions. He'll come over there like
Absolutely.
if some
Like,
shit
if
went
she-
down.
if
Me and
she
you
hits
argued
you-
in real life,
right.
and we were getting into it or whatever. You could have smacked the shit out of my ass. But the minute I hold your hands or something, some dude from around the corner could be like, "Oh shit!"
There is the video. You probably haven't seen it, but I think it was like Spirit Airlines where like the
Yeah.
guy, and the guy was getting yelled at by the chick,
Yeah, and then
he
like-
was a worker, and she was just hitting him, and then
And he fired back.
yeah, and then that's when all the dudes
Yeah,
got up.
she hit him dead in the face and then ran away.
Yeah, and then he fucking lined back, took her out.
He like hell no.
And that's when all the guys got up to yell at him. There was one dude that was trying to fight him.
He was the
No,
one dude. He was
see,
like, he
that-
said,
that
bro, he
is
said,
the
hit somebody
dumbest-
on. He said, hit somebody on. So
Okay.
he was
That
like,
is the
Let's go ahead.
dumbest
and that's when he looked
shit.
at him. He was like, "What's up?"
That is the dumbest shit ever because like like if they're trying to if a woman's trying to push me or like or just slapping at me or whatever and not slapping me in the face or nothing, I'll just let them calm down. But if they throw a punch, no, I ain't gonna punch them back. I'm just gonna push them down.
Look.
Because you use restraint.
Look.
Use
Look.
no. You
Look,
use
hold on,
restraint.
right quick. Look,
You know?
you can use restraint if you want to. I watch too much Yu Yu Hakusho. Look, a woman, a man can get this work. A woman, a baby, a grandma. I don't give a fuck. If you put your hands on me, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Just don't fight girls. I'll fight with you. You're Missy. Are you serious? She's a fighter and she's trying to get in our way. I don't care if she's a girl or a baby or somebody's grandmother. I'll still knock her out.
I don't care.
Coming from someone that actually has been in a fight with a man, yes. If you provoke me to the point where you know that that you're provoking me, and I hit you, and I like actually deck your shit, yes, I will tell you. You have the right to hit me.
If you start throwing, if you smack me across the face and you start like pushing at me and shit for no reason, or even if I started that shit, I'm not gonna just stand there and take it. I ain't a fucking.
This is why
idiot.
you choose wisely, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
This is why you evaluate
let
crazy.
the woman,
Exactly.
for all young guys out there and gals, let them throw the first punch, man or woman, don't matter.
First of all, peep their irritation. See how irritated they get. That's what really is going to show you what type of person you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Like, you see them in their angriest, that's when you really going to be like, what you really capable of.
Yeah.
Can't do
Also, don't let people get the first hit, by the way.
Never. Dodge.
Only do that if there are witnesses, but if you're by yourself, don't do that because it doesn't matter. Like, this is mostly for dudes.
Yeah.
If you let her hit you first, if it's not on camera, it doesn't matter. You'll still go to jail. So you have to be careful with certain shit like that because there's a lot of like times where dudes are trying to like leave like the house because they don't want to have like arguments with a girl or they're broken up or whatever. And she'll hit them and all this other stuff and he'll almost still get arrested even with the video showing that she was the aggressor. So you have to really be careful about shit like that, honestly.
Always.
Gotta start a revolution about that gender equality bullcrap.
Look, I told you, I'm a feminist. I believe in equality.
Facts.
You can get this work.
I'm an equalist, bro.
These hands are feminist.
Right. These hands are rated E for everybody, goddammit.
Rated E for everybody. No, we're probably the most passive people y'all could ever meet. we really be chilling.
I really cool down.
We really be chilling until somebody does something
Bro,
stupid.
like I've only he and I have only ever actually gotten like into like one shouting match. Like that was in high school, and that was I don't even remember what the fuck it was about.
I also probably wasn't even mad.
You just shouting.
Yeah.
We weren't.
I
like,
honestly
as mad
just
as
sometimes
we were,
I just
trying
like
to
yelling
speak
at people to see how mad they get, and I'm not mad at all.
I wouldn't say that I was.
I've done that to you.
No, wait.
I've
think about it.
I've done that to you. I just
you have done that to me, and I think I fucked around with you a couple of times where I'll sit there and say something completely like dumb, and then I'll just sit there and be like, no, I believe this, and you be like, what?
That's because
I do believe this.
I have more faith in you, and when you say stupid shit, it irritates me.
You have more faith in him than me.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
That's because he took school too fucking serious. There's no reason. He took school too fucking serious to say stupid shit.
You're like, I just don't have.
You have no excuse.
I have no excuse to say nothing dumb.
Anything,
Anything,
brother, but
even that
he's
sentence
right.
didn't even make sense.
He's right.
See, exactly. You can't even argue.
Can't even be mad.
I mean, I can't argue.
Plus,
that.
also, you're my voice of reason, and if you're saying something stupid, it's irritating me because I look to you.
Because you're not helping
right.
the fucking situation.
The funniest part is you even recognize it within the podcast. What is this, like episode 14? 15?
14.
14.
Yeah, it's 14.
Okay.
No, cause we just.
I'm not counting the pilot this time, right?
What was the episode beforehand was 14? I thought this is 15.
That's counting the
15.
pilot.
No, that's not counting the pilot because we
Are
just
you
dropped
sure?
13.
I don't fucking know what's going on anymore.
Anyways,
I'm just
whole
here.
segment
But
of just
like,
debating what episode.
But if y'all ever just if you go back and look at the episodes, if like y'all currently watching them right now, catching up to what we're talking about, if you notice it, and whenever you get into like you'll say some shit, I'll be like, just know this is not. We're not talking about everybody. He won't preface it at all. He won't say anything. Everybody be offended in the world, and this nigga won't care at all. He'd be like, all right.
That's because I have you to clean the shit up.
And I'm just like, look, so I just want to let you know. This has been a great episode. Well, appreciate y'all coming to the next installment of DWG. Do y'all have any more points y'all want to get into before I wrap it up?
How much time do we have?
We're done.
That was it.
Oh.
I just realized
Then
that y'all-
nothing.
I like
we-
how he
I just
did
realized
that.
I just realized y'all could have a whole segment about how many episodes and what episode is this.
Facts. We're gonna get lost every time talking about
I definitely
episodes.
will because I be counting the wrong fucking
Bro, once we
shit,
got
bro.
past like 6 is when we were like, what episodes is this?
I'm dyslexic.
I'm just
That's my
tired.
answer.
That has nothing to do with it, but all right.
Look
But
here.
no, I think that was everything.
It
That's
is.
everything.
Yeah.
I gotta get any closing remarks, anything you want to let the people know? Got anything coming up? Anything you want to promote? I know you talking about your Family Feud
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be fine.
Yep. Anything you got going on?
No.
Shout out my hairstylist, y'all. She be getting me right and stuff. Anything you got going on, my boy?
No, not really.
Oh, well, you just had a birthday recently. We didn't even talk about that.
I wasn't
I
trying to
didn't
talk
get
about
anything.
it.
Well,
That's the end of
hey.
the segment.
Wait.
Fuck. Well,
Look, my boy-
time's
Happy
over with.
birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
This video is gonna come out like way after my birthday, and
It's
they're gonna
fine.
be confused, but that's fine.
There. Who? Viewers?
Who the
Streets.
fuck else do you think I'm talking about?
No, I know.
And it's a wrap.
All right, y'all. So follow us on all social media platforms. Anything you guys.
Well, it's funny.
do. You said what?
It isn't funny.
I'm trying to
I
wrap
thought
it
he said it's honey.
I'm trying to wrap it up.
Just wrap it up. Just wrap it up so I can say my line.
I was gonna say, Derek, say your line.
He wants to say the line. See us all on everything. Whatever you do, 5 stars, please.
God, please, if
Please.
you're down with the get down, go ahead and subscribe.
All right.